Hey, you guys, and welcome to American Culture. So, a lot of us are feeling that there is this major shift taking place. We just know that our dreams are right around the corner, more so than we've ever felt it before in our lives. And I'm about to give you a few checkpoints to see where you are on this journey. No particular order, but first and foremost, a lot of the time you begin to just not care. You don't care if your friends agree, your family agrees. A lot of things have kind of been cut off. So you're in this world where if you're happy with it, that's great. And that's exactly where you need to be, because so often we allow other people's applause to tell us what direction to go in. Now it's just you. You're confident enough, you're stable enough to say that if it makes me good, that's enough. The second part of this is recognizing the different patterns of chaos that you were in. You guys, for like every 3 years, like towards the end, November, December, things will go crazy. In 2018, I got illegally evicted from my apartment because my neighbor was having a nervous breakdown and threw my rent checks away. Ended up finding them, but this was after the fact that I ended up homeless and having to go stay with my family, who I realized wasn't really family. The next time in 2021, I was nursing and I didn't want to get the COVID shot. So the hospital I was at fired everybody. And I was going through an identity crisis because I felt like I can't do this forever. If they can force me into stuff and then just let me, I don't matter here. Long story short, I ended up moving into home health care, and that was the best decision of my life. Still work with the little guy today. Absolutely adore him. And that's what's happening with a lot of us. There's something that we've ended these different patterns of chaos. We no longer are putting up with things that make us feel less than worthy, less than good. And we can look back on all the trauma and see God's hand in everything. I like to say, it's not just now that we can see these synchronicities that have us feeling like everything is enough. God's been doing that all along. And so a lot of us are sitting in a position to where we can actually see God's hand orchestrating in every detail of our life, going all the way back to childhood. And the last part that I'm going to speak of is that some of those dysfunctional circumstances that you used to be a part of, you're now seeing a complete turnaround from it. I'm going to give you guys an example. So last night, my neighbor, and I won't say it too loud, I don't know. My neighbor, his girlfriend came over and was like beating on the door at 1:00 in the morning. Won't go into the details of what happened, but we had to call the police, and he came running out of the complex, like completely naked. Now, you guys, there are cameras everywhere, so something's got to be going on. We all heard a pop. I'm like, oh gosh, did she shoot him? If you're going to run out of your house naked, she probably did. Long story short, I had a situation 4 years ago, and that's what kind of like pushed me into the whole, can't really do this whole dating thing right now. Had a nice guy, cared about me, was stable, the whole 9 yards. Turned to find out he had a long-term girlfriend that was pregnant. And after that, it was just, I don't know, it was a certain kind of betrayal that I just could not undo. So I stopped dating. I went celibate, the whole 9 yards, and God came in. And like I said before, you can start to see God's hand in everything. I started to lean into what Jesus was saying, lean into God, went to church, got baptized, went on mission. I can sit here now and say that a big part of the woman that I am is because of that experience. And so it was just interesting to see the same type of drama outside of me. Another thing is that 7 years ago, I had a guy that really did care about me, but I didn't know what love was. I was always on this quest for it with my own generational trauma and things like that. And he ended things with me by saying, Alicia, I'm trying to love you, but you're not going to let that happen. I don't think you know what love is. And of course, at the time I gave him slack for it. It was the last conversation that we had. And it took me till about 5 years later, until about a year after that other stuff happened, that I realized, he's true. And the interesting thing is, those of you who go through generational trauma too, I had my own, I realized the same thing about my mother. So it wasn't just me at this point not knowing what love was. I realized where I got it from. And I told my mom the same thing. I'm trying to love you, but you're not going to let that happen. I don't think you know what love is. So a lot of us are seeing those pivotal life-changing moments that kind of got us going on to this path of awakening and self-discovery. But instead of being the one that's inflicted on, we're actually giving that same advising out to others, or we're seeing the circumstance in other people. So this is like a checkpoint that we have moved beyond where we formerly were. So yeah, I can tell you guys, like I said, I was in that 3-year pattern where November, December was always chaotic. 2024, I'm claiming it now. The best 2 months of my life, I intend to, a lot of my dreams are just going to come true because I know that I'm the woman that's walking into them more than capable, more than prepared, more than ready. And everything around me is saying, my, look at how far you've come. Look at how much you've grown. Have a blessed day, you guys.